Hello, beautiful souls. Welcome to the channel. If you're new here, my name is Infinity, and this is Magnetize Yourself, where we talk about life, love, spirituality, and of course, the law of attraction. I hope you're all doing really well. I am sending you so much love, light, and positive energy today along your journey, and I'm excited to get into today's reading. So, I am going to start off today by shuffling the traditional tarot cards. While I'm shuffling, if you would like to contribute to your energy in a stronger way, I do recommend liking the video and subscribing to the channel, as these are forms of energetic transference that do tend to allow me to pick up more easily on your energy and channel more specifically for you and your situation. Now, if you hear me rummaging around here, it's because I am getting out a notebook so that I can write down whenever we touch upon some kind of point that we're actually going to be elaborating on a bit further in our Patreon reading. So, for those of you who don't know, I do channel these main collective reading videos every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And on those same times and days as well, I do channel an extended version of these readings on Patreon, where essentially we go deeper into some of the messages that were coming up in this reading. So I will let you know throughout the reading if there are certain points we're going to be discussing further through our Patreon reading. But regardless, let's go ahead and get back into the shuffling here. For some reason, I heard the name Claire. I also heard the name Ali for someone. Of course, do keep in mind whenever I channel very specific names, dates, details, etc., these are typically meant for very specific individuals. So don't worry if they don't resonate with you personally, because there may still be many other messages in the reading that do connect with you. I also just like to channel those specific details as they come through, because I know that they can be really meaningful for specific individuals. With the name Claire, I'm also getting that this might not be a name, it might actually be referring to one of the clair senses. We talk about the clair psychic senses. So maybe someone listening here is actually having certain new psychic abilities being amplified at this time. Now, of course, we are all energetic beings, so we are all capable of perceiving energy that we are receiving, and we are capable of interpreting that in conscious ways and essentially translating that energy. So, really, every human being is psychic or is capable of being psychic, of tuning into that energy and translating it. So, it's all about simply being able to unlock those abilities and to amplify them to a greater degree by strengthening those connections between the energy that we are receiving and how we are consciously interpreting it. And for someone listening, I'm getting that you may have noticed recently that suddenly you have certain ones of these abilities that are becoming more conscious or coming online in a new way that you may have not had before. I'm hearing you just know without knowing why you know. So, of course, this would be something that we refer to as clear cognizance, where you just suddenly receive psychic knowledge or information, often without having any idea where it's coming from. So maybe there's someone listening, this is one of those abilities that you've really begun to tap into in a stronger way, where you are, for example, speaking to someone or in a certain environment or in a certain social group or whatever the case may be, and suddenly you have this knowing about something, and then it gets confirmed to you in some kind of a conscious or literal way. So, this is just one small example of how some of these clair abilities might be coming online for someone listening, but that might be relevant to you and your life at this time. Now, I do have the card, the Five of Wands, in the reverse position. So, for some reason, I'm picking up on what my guides are calling a psychic struggle. There's resistant energy in the third eye chakra. Now, this could be within you, but equally, this could actually be within someone else that you are connected to in some kind of a meaningful way. And what I'm really getting from this card is someone is fighting something that they're being led into intuitively or psychically. Someone is like fighting their intuition on something. But this might actually be past tense because I just realized with this Five of Wands being in the reverse position, this is actually more so of the end of a resisting, the end of a conflict, coming to peace with something, coming to terms with something. I'm hearing come to terms with the way that you receive and feel and sense energy and begin to realize how beautiful of a gift those abilities are rather than fighting against them and trying to fit yourself into some kind of a mold that society has created but that was never meant for someone as psychic, intuitive, and spiritually in tune as you are. I know that's a very specific message, but for someone listening here, what you may have been fighting against is simply your nature as this highly energetically sensitive being that you are. So you may be someone who's always been able to pick up very strongly on other people's energy, on the energy of things around you, environments around you, and there may have been a time where you were really hard on yourself about this and asking, why can't I just be normal or make myself do these things that society is telling me I should be doing, but that I feel I quite literally cannot do because of this energetic sensitivity. And I'm hearing with heightened sensitivity comes a different set of needs personally and boundaries that other people are not necessarily going to understand. But along with that, it comes with massive blessings as well. So I feel there is this shift in learning to really see your energetic sensitivity as this gift that it is and to begin working with it and within it rather than fighting against it. Now, for someone listening here as well, this might even be more specific than that. So, for a small group here, this might actually relate to something very particular that your intuition has been trying to lead you into or tell you, and that part of you has been resisting or kind of fighting against here. So, of course, only you will know how this resonates for you. And as with all of my readings, my goal here is just to help you connect more consciously with your own intuitive voice within yourself, because it's really that intuition that is the compass of your life experience. Now, I am going to get very specific here. This is probably only going to relate to a couple people, but I feel that someone needs the message that your intuition might be guiding you to cut something out of your life. Now, this could be a particular substance, this could be a particular activity or a food, or maybe it's a person, a connection. It could be really anything, but I'm just getting that you've had this nudging feeling that something is, I'm hearing, inhibiting your frequency in some way. It's like it's resistant to the flow of your life. Whatever this thing is, it's almost like your day will be kind of flowing along so beautifully. And then when you connect with this thing, again, whether it's a substance, a food, an activity, a person, a connection, a place, it's like once you tap into that thing, suddenly you begin to, it's like distort your frequency and you can feel it. Like you can feel as though the flow that you were in becomes very disrupted and your reality starts to feel like it's going very off track. Now, for some of you listening, you might even feel this in your physical body because this gets back to how you are very energetically sensitive and capable of picking up on and perceiving energy. So this might be something that you even feel yourself having some kind of physical response or reaction to that you might label as negative. And you've had this nudging feeling that it's related to, again, whatever this particular thing is in your life, or person, or connection, or job, or place, whatever it is. You know it's not fitting in with your highest reality because it always seems to disrupt your flow or to kind of artificially distort your vibration or your frequency in some way. And for the person I'm speaking to here, it's almost like your intuition has been trying to tell you this, but you've been resisting releasing this thing or letting it go. But I'm hearing just test it out. So you don't have to commit to releasing this thing forever, but it might be a good exercise of self-trust when you're feeling that intuitive nudge, like maybe I should release this thing, at least for now, from my life, or this person or this connection. Give it a trial run and try, even for just a day or a couple days, to release this thing from your routine or from your life and see if the flow of your life, the rhythm of your life begins to improve. So again, I know that's only going to be for a couple people listening. Only take that if it resonates. But for others of you, this resistance in the third eye chakra could actually be someone external who's connected to you, who is resisting intuitive knowings that they're being fed about you and about this connection. Now, if this is relating for you personally, which of course you guys who regularly watch my readings know that we tend to channel into a lot of different threads of energy. So I always say to just take these threads of energy that feel as though they connect with you in a personal way, whatever that is for you, and to leave the rest here. To also keep in mind that these threads of energy can sometimes relate to us internally. They can sometimes relate to an external person, situation, or dynamic. So always take these messages however they connect with you. This is really meant to be an intuitive journey more than anything else. But there's something here about not being afraid to challenge conventionality or conformity. So maybe this thing you're releasing from your life is something that society expects you to participate in, or it's a connection that has felt necessary in your life, or that society or the people around you expect you to be engaging in some way. For others of you, if this is a pattern, whatever this is, I feel like there's something here that you've been expected to conform to, or that just makes sense because society tells you that it makes sense, but somehow it feels resistant to your personal flow. You feel as though it's disrupting your frequency, and you're being guided to actually release this thing from your life and to allow yourself to naturally remain in that high vibrational state that I already really see you consistently aligning with. It's just that there seems to be something or someone or some situation here that's, like, in essence artificially disrupting your frequency. Now, for others of you, this could be related to an external person, and this is someone fighting their own intuition when it comes to connecting with you, because somehow connecting with you represents a lack of conformity, like it doesn't conform to something that they expected or that society expected of them, or maybe societal expectations are at play because of certain boundaries or barriers within your connection to this person. What else can I channel here about this person? But again, the fact that it's the Five of Wands reversed, it's almost as though they are coming to terms with something, or they are coming to peace with something. Maybe you are coming to peace with something about another person that you had to separate yourself from, that you really desire to connect with, but that has been disruptive to your flow or to your frequency with this Devil card energy. For some reason, I'm getting a message that the devil and the lovers are two sides of the same coin, at least in this scenario. So it almost reminds me of how people talk about how you can't hate a person or a thing unless there is also a really strong love that was there at one time, or a really strong love for something or someone. It's almost as though those two very extreme dynamics can sometimes go hand in hand. And I know some of us have experienced that where someone seems to flip from absolutely adoring you, loving you, feeling really highly about you, to the total opposite. So I don't know how that's connecting for someone or why I felt guided to share that. I know that's a bit random, but in this case, I'm just picking up that there is like a potential very strong love connection here represented by that lover's card, and yet it's showing itself in the physical as this devil card energy. It's a connection that feels like it's weighting you down. Maybe someone here is dealing with some very heavy patterns or issues in their life that have become very burdensome, not just to them, but to you as well when you do tie yourself in strongly with this person. I'm hearing that you kept trying to make the devil into the lovers. It's like to make this energy of codependence and heaviness, and I'm hearing constant fear or constant anxiety. I don't know why that's coming up here or what is being feared here, but it's like this very heavy, dark energy that you were trying to force to be the lovers, to be this harmonious, beautiful connection, but it simply just wasn't manifesting as that in the physical. And you found that whenever you're around this person or situation, you begin to feel really blocked creatively. It's almost like you're working against the flow of yourself here with the Magician card in the reverse position. And ultimately, I feel with the Ten of Cups reverse connecting with the High Priestess and the Star, wow, it's almost as though you allowed yourself to feel like you failed at something, or to do something that may have looked like an ending or looked like a failure to others. It may have looked like a defeat, but really this was you tapping into your High Priestess energy, connecting with your intuition, and making choices that were actually leading you on this highly spiritual journey that others weren't capable and maybe still aren't capable of understanding. And yet, this journey is so powerful, even though it's very mysterious to others. So, this could be in connection with a relationship. Maybe you walked away or you ended a relationship and it was very public, and to other people this may have looked like an ending, a defeat, something like that, but in actuality this was you choosing your spiritual journey over the expectations of society, of others, or even of your own past version of self. Wow, that felt like a really powerful message for someone. So for others of you, if it's not a relationship that you ended, this could be something you walked away from. I'm just getting this sense of quitting, like you quit something, whether it was a job, a relationship, a lifestyle, a way of being. You let something go that to other people was very surprising and even made them kind of wonder about you or talk about you or look at this thing that you were letting go as some kind of defeat. But in actuality, choosing to release whatever this was has sent you on this journey of deep inner healing, this highly spiritual and mysterious pathway of living fully in the now, fully listening to your own intuition, staying connected with that High Priestess energy, refusing to care what anyone else thinks or how anyone else judges your journey, because you are so fully rooted in the now and tapped into that open sacral chakra energy. And one byproduct of that is all of that stuck creativity has now broken loose. And I'm getting a very interesting, but possibly very specific message for someone, which is when you were connected with that devil card that you were trying to force to be the lovers, to force it to be something else. Again, it doesn't have to be a connection, but it's like you were in a situation that had the potential to be harmonious, wonderful, everything you'd ever wanted, but it wasn't manifesting like that in the physical. It was showing up as the devil card. It was feeling very heavy. It was leaving you feeling drained, uninspired, but you were, for a time, trying to make it, to force it into that harmonious situation or connection. And during that time when your creativity felt blocked, your guides want you to know your creative energy wasn't blocked. It was actually building up. It was being pent up. It felt like it had stopped, like it had totally stopped flowing because you weren't able to consciously tap into that intuition in the middle of that situation. But the whole time, it was actually being reserved. It was being built up, pent up in a sense. And now it's like the floodgates have broken loose and you have access to a tremendous amount of muse, of creative inspiration. It's almost like everything, all of that creation that you didn't do or felt you couldn't do in that situation or with that person because you felt so creatively stuck and unhappy and weighted down, all of that creativity wasn't lost. It was being built up and now it's breaking loose and it's meant to be shared. And this is how you are processing and healing from whatever that devil card energy was. Because I'm also getting this message that you healed or you freed yourself physically, literally, from this person or situation. You walked away, you quit this thing, you quit this person, you left the job, whatever it was, but you carried some of that devil card vibration still with you, within you. There was still healing to be done because being in that situation for an extended amount of time actually affected you on a really deep level. And I'm hearing you're healing the rifts through allowing yourself to now flow all of that creative energy that was pent up during the time when you felt you couldn't express it. For some reason, I'm hearing you weren't allowed to express it. So maybe this was a person who was very controlling, whether it was a friend, a family member, a boss, a partner, someone who was telling you not to speak your truth or telling you that you shouldn't create or you shouldn't share whatever you are now feeling a desire to share. And it's like by sharing what you felt you weren't allowed to at the time, or you felt that you couldn't, or maybe you just energetically couldn't access it. By sharing all of that now, you are healing a rift within yourself. You are releasing that remnant devil card energy, which stuck with you even after you broke from that person or situation. And this just feels incredibly powerful. It feels like the things you create from that place with that energy. I just got chills. It's like I don't even have the words to describe how powerful your creations are. I saw someone like mining material from a mountain, this really precious material. And it's almost like that situation, although it was very burdensome and took so much out of you, I'm hearing it felt like it took the life out of you. It was like you were mining for something that you couldn't yet use. You were mining it, you were storing it up, you were really draining yourself, yes, but you were storing up this valuable, raw, creative material. And now you've moved away from the mountain, you've moved away from that mine, that situation, but you've kept with you that valuable, raw, creative material that is now flowing through you. It's like the floodgates have completely broken loose, and what you create with this material will be infused with a special kind of power that only could have come through the pain. So this is kind of a full circle where you were meant to be escaping or quitting or leaving that person, thing, or situation. But what you gained, even through the pain, through the hardship, through the burden, has been so valuable. And what you create with it, how you transmute it as the alchemist that you are, is going to be extremely valuable. And I'm hearing not just valuable in terms of healing that rift within yourself, although the guides would like to say that once you do begin to feel the healing effect of that rift, which some of you might already be feeling, you might come to say, wow, this actually was the most fulfilling and valuable byproduct of utilizing this raw material of creative energy. It wasn't the things or the abundance or the wealth or the success. It was actually healing myself, coming back home fully to myself, healing those rifts within that was the most valuable. But with that being said, all of those other things are coming as well. Of course, you are the conscious creator of your life, so only you can know what those desires are personally for you. But whatever those desires are that you have for the material things, whether it is wealth, abundance, success, social connectedness, status, whatever this is for you, all of those things are coming. But the guides are saying that ironically, you're going to find through this process of creating that your most valuable asset you receive out of all of this is that healing of a rift within yourself that you may have been living with for so long you weren't even fully aware was there, or maybe you were denying that it was there. But once that begins to heal, and again, some of you are already feeling this, it's going to be a more fulfilling and valuable experience than anything else that you can imagine. But the thing is, it requires bravery from you because it requires you to speak your truth. It requires you to use the raw material that you mined, most likely during a time that was very painful, that was very dark, that was very lonely for you, to take that and to actually create with it, to mold it, to transform it into something beautiful and powerful and a key that will also help to free others who might be caught in the same kinds of emotional prisons that you used to be trapped in. Wow, I feel so powerful about this message. Thank you to all of you who are powerful co-creators here along with me. I could not be doing this without you sharing your own energy and intentions with this reading today. I don't think we've ever channeled a message quite like what came through today's video, so let me know in the comments if anything here has been connecting with you. And I know I said we were going to be discussing throughout the reading what we would be talking about on Patreon. But this reading just flowed so powerfully today that I didn't even really have a point to pause and mention that we were going to go deeper on Patreon. But here I will say that if this has been connecting, I really do recommend exploring our extended version of this reading on Patreon, because specifically for this reading, and again, it's felt like a very powerful one, a very transformational one for many of you listening, but we're going to continue that process of transformation on Patreon. We're going to be talking about more of your spiritual journey, like what this is leading to next, the creation that you are beginning to step into using that raw material from your past, and what you can expect to be manifesting as a result of doing that. Any clear messages from your spirit guides or your higher self regarding that whole process, anything you might need to know, those messages will be in the extended Patreon reading, which is linked in the pinned comment and description box underneath this video. Now we are getting pretty far into the reading because that ended up being a very long-winded but I feel necessary segment. So I am going to be shuffling the energy oracle cards and seeing if there are any other messages that want to come through. Of course, we haven't really talked about love yet, specifically in this reading, although for many of you, that situation that you walked away from, that you derived so much creative raw material from, may have been a past romantic connection or situation that you walked away from. But this feels like new love or new love opportunities opening up. So for some of you, this could be the deepening of a current love connection, new opportunities with a current partner if you are in a relationship. For others of you, this could be new dating or romantic opportunities. This could be someone coming back into your life romantically. We are going to get deeper into this, but here we have caring connections. So this right away is just feeling so opposite of whatever situation we were channeling into, that devil that you were trying to force into the Lover's card. Now, regardless of whether that was romantic or not, it was a situation that held this really high vibrational potential that wasn't fully living up to that or supporting you in the physical realm. This that's coming through now, this new love is completely the opposite. It's a person and a connection that shows up for you and supports you and cares for you in the physical realm and actively shows you that care. I keep hearing you don't have to force anything or change anything with this person or situation. It has this feeling of decisiveness about it, but this decisiveness is two-sided. So on the one side, this is you actually feeling very sure, very decisive about this person or situation. My guides are saying if you haven't felt that certainty, that sureness in a love connection, then maybe you haven't met this person yet, because with this person, you are going to reach a point where you just know, where you just feel so sure, where you feel very decisive about them. But it's actually because of how they fully support you and show up for you, and your spirit can sense that. I'm hearing stop gaslighting yourself about past situations where you might be telling yourself, well, maybe I'm asking for too much, or maybe I'm just anxious with this person for no reason. No, you are extremely intuitive. And when you're with a person, you can sense when they are all there for you and when they're not. You can sense when they are supporting you, when they're protecting you. And I'm not talking just physically, I'm talking when they are showing up as your spiritual protector in that connection as well. When they're protecting the connection, you're able to sense that safety and therefore open and like blossom and open your heart towards them. And when you're feeling less than that safety, less than that certainty, very often this is your intuition telling you that either this is not the right person, or even if it is the right person, that they haven't evolved into the version of themselves that they need to be in order to fully meet all of your needs emotionally, mentally, psychically, energetically, and in every other sense, which is really leading me back to, interestingly enough, the beginning of the reading, where we were talking about how energetically sensitive you are and how because of this you have very specific needs that society might not understand, and that at times in the past you may have even judged from within yourself. Now it's really coming up in the cards that one of those needs, being someone who is so energetically sensitive, is aligning with a partner or someone romantically who truly protects your energy within that partnership, who provides for you emotionally, energetically, psychically, and spiritually in the ways that you need, that are very unique because of how energetically in tune you are. And you deserve someone who understands and honors those very specific energetic and spiritual needs that you have, rather than trying to convince you out of them. So wow, this feels like a very, very powerful place to close the reading. I am going to go deeper on Patreon into these love messages because I feel such a fresh new energy flowing here in your love life. So we're going to be looking at what this new energy might show up as in your life. We're also going to open up the reading and talk about anyone or anything that might be connected to you spiritually or energetically at this time. Very often people find that many specific threads of energy that are highly relatable come through those portions of the reading. So again, if this has all been connecting for you, I really do recommend considering joining us next on Patreon, and the link to do so is in the pinned comment and description box underneath this video. Otherwise, I am sending you all huge amounts of love. Thank you so much for being here today. I would love for you to subscribe to the channel, join our beautiful community of like-minded, conscious, creative beings here on YouTube. I've just been talking so fast because the energy's been moving really fast in this reading, so I was kind of tripping over my words there for a second. But I know that many of you are feeling that fresh, new, pulsating, exciting energy as well. So again, thank you for bringing all of that to the table. If anything here did connect, I would love to hear from you in the comments section. You can also follow me on Instagram at Magnetize Yourself, where I post more energy updates, inspiration, and information. Otherwise, I am going to be closing the reading here. Have a beautiful remainder of your day and week, and I will connect with you here again in Friday's reading.